What's up, guys? Fat Samurai Guy here. Welcome to another episode of The Movie Dojo, where we discuss martial arts cinema and action films. Today, I'm going to review Brotherhood of Blades. Here's a quick plot synopsis. In the final days of the Ming Dynasty, 3 assassins hired to eliminate the former head of the imperial court become involved in a power struggle. Now I'm going to give you the good, I'm going to give you the bad, I'm going to give you the badass. First up, the good. Had some pretty decent performances from the actors in this movie. Very solid. Also, what I liked about the film was that the movie looked pretty good for being really low budget film. They did a really good job of making the movie look pretty good. Now for the bad. Okay, so to some, the plot could be a little confusing. This may or may not be one of those movies where you may need to watch it several times to take everything in, learn all the characters' names, learn about the different sects the movie's talking about. So that could be a turnoff for those that are expecting a pretty simple kung fu martial arts movie. The movie focuses on our 3 main Imperial guards. We have one who used to be a thief, and he's actually posing as an Imperial guard. You didn't really get to know a lot about his backstory, especially with this other thief that keeps messing with him throughout the movie and getting money from him and whatnot. You could tell they've had a history. They even talk about their former master, and at some point the other thief is kind of like, why did the master teach you those martial arts moves but not me? Seemed like he was a little bitter about the whole relationship. The second Imperial Guard is definitely the best out of all 3 characters. He's very noble, and he just wants to move up in ranks and get promoted. But unfortunately, you don't really get to know that much about him either. And last but not least, our third Imperial Guard, who is not too bright. I found his character very stupid. I know the movie focused more on him than the other 2, but I just couldn't believe the idiocracy of this character. So basically, in the beginning of the film, the new Imperial leader sends out our 3 assassins to go take down the original leader, who used to be in charge for 8 years. They called his group the Eunuch Sect, or Secret Police. And now you got a new boss in town, and he basically wants to wipe out everyone from that original group. So when our third guard ends up meeting with the original leader from the Secret Police, the Eunuch, all he had to do was do his job and assassinate him and get his reward, and everything would have been fine. But no, he was bribed by the eunuch leader, who had all this gold in front of him, and he's all like, hey, come on, don't you want it? Come on, look at this gold. Woo, money. Yeah. And he ended up taking the money. What kind of morals do we have here for these 3 guys that we're supposed to like and follow? And basically fakes the death of the eunuch leader and takes a burnt corpse back to the Imperial leader, saying that this is the body of the eunuch. So then this leads to an investigation, and then we have our power struggle, and we have this faction trying to take over this faction, and then we have interturmoil struggle between the brothers, and then all hell breaks loose. Which all could have been avoided if he would have just did his damn job and killed the eunuch leader. And then you find out that his main motivation for taking the money was to break this prostitute out of the brothel and pay for her release because he's in love with her. And that whole subplot storyline with that character just wasn't interesting. Like, I just did not care. So you kind of have 2 out of the 3 characters that you don't really care about. Now, this movie could have been way more interesting if the original leader of the Secret Police of the Eunuch Sect was actually a good man. I mean, if he was a good man, they really didn't portray him as such in this film. I mean, he looked more evil and more of a villain than our main villain of the movie. Okay? And if they made him a good man, a righteous, stand-up leader, and just somebody you respect, and he just couldn't do it. He could not go through with the assassination because of all the respect he has for him, and he ends up letting him escape, and then our main villain comes after our 3 main characters, the Imperial Guards, and they have to defend themselves or fight the greater fight. Maybe saying, screw this guy, we're going to actually join the Secret Police. Or just basically saying, screw it, we're just going to pull a 300, and it's just going to be us versus all of them, and we're just going to go out Shaw Brothers style, man. We're going to die heroically. That would have been so much more compelling. I emotionally would have been invested if that were the case. But this guy is just like, you want the gold? You want the gold, man? Come on, I can take the gold. It's like, why are you putting yourself and your two brothers' careers and lives on the line just because you wanted some damn gold? These are the people that we're supposed to root for, folks, in this movie. And last but not least, one of my biggest pet peeves is during a lot of the fight sequences, had a lot of close-up, quick-cut editing, and some shaky cam. And I'm like, what the fuck is this doing in this movie, man? So that was a little disappointing. Now for the badass. So luckily, even though there is, the camera zoomed in too much sometimes, the quick-cut editing, and shaky cam during some of these fights, you can tell by watching these fight sequences that there's a pretty good swordplay fight choreography in this movie. There's some pretty good swordplay. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's on Shaw Brothers level, okay? I wouldn't say your mind will explode and blow because of how awesome the fight sequences are in this movie. But they are very solid and very entertaining, despite the way they're filmed. So overall, a very solid film with very solid fight choreography. Just filled with characters that are stupid, and you don't really care about them that much. So your emotional heartstrings are not really going to tug as much as the filmmakers wanted them to. But overall, pretty solid. So I give Brotherhood of Blades 3.2 out of 5 ninja stars. Alright, that's the end of today's episode of the Movie Dojo. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Brotherhood of Blades. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next week with my review of Wolf Warrior. See you next time.